a buzzword. Well, I guess you have casual buzzwords versus corporate buzzwords.
So this is corporate. The corporate jargon Gen Z is bringing to the chat.
E-
Here's the thing. I think that's a misinterpretation of Gen Z, though. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fuck Your Podcast. It's season 2.
Season 2.
We took a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
We needed a moment to kind of like gather ourselves to figure out what we really wanted this podcast to be like. And I think season 1 was great.
Yeah. Good variety. Good variety.
But I think we needed a moment to think, and then we needed a moment to actually make it happen. So, Katie, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about buzzwords.
Ooh,
Popular, cringy, don't ever want to hear again. It'd be a good mix.
okay. So let's start with what? Okay, let's start with this. What was your all-time favorite? But what's your all-time favorite buzzword?
Oh God, I don't know if I have a favorite one, but I could probably tell you one that I use the most. I think it's on the cringy list too. I probably utilize touch base too often. I
Oh,
wouldn't even say that I like it. I just think I use it too often in a
let
coaching capacity or like talking in a team environment. I think I use it too often.
Oh my gosh. So let me see. I've just pulled up a list of cringe buzzwords.
hmm
Let's see. The most and least annoying corporate jargon. So these buzzwords. Which list do you think this would be on?
Okay.
I can't tell which one's which, actually.
Which one's the most annoying?
And which one's the least annoying? Okay. Circle
Oh.
back, work hard, play hard,
Mm.
boots on the ground.
Oh, I hate that one. And I do use
Let's table this. Synergy, which I haven't heard that one as much.
No, I think synergy's becoming out of favor, like it's not popular anymore.
Yeah. Put a pin in it. Get ducks in a row. I'm guilty of using that one a lot because my ducks are never in a row. Low-hanging fruit.
I use low-hanging fruit in the roofing industry a lot with referring to storm restoration.
Reinvent the wheel.
Mm.
Throw it up and see what sticks. Now that one I've heard multiple variations of.
That's like a phrase. It's like that's not, is that even fair to call it a buzzword? It's like
Yeah,
damn
it's
near a
true.
whole sentence.
Most annoying words or phrases to see in a job post. So this is for
Okay.
anybody. And this is kind of turning into corporate right now, but
Yeah.
there's more out there. Like a family.
Ew, yuck.
Fast-paced environment. This is all screaming red flag to me, by the way.
Right.
Rock star. Guru. Ninja. Hustle. Work hard, play hard. Get your foot in the door. Highly motivated. Entrepreneurial spirit. Wear many hats. Least annoying words or phrases to see in a job post would be passionate, core competency, proven track record, hit the ground running, results oriented, fast growth company, overachiever, wizard, thick skin, team player, self starter. Which
I like that one. Send me that link.
okay, I will do that. So there's that. Most annoying new buzzwords are new normal, lean in, hop on a call, level up, out of pocket. Which I've heard.
Out of pocket is not a new buzzword.
No, but I hear it more with like a younger generation.
But there's two different ways that you can use. So this is a debate depending on the age of the person. So what do you think out of pocket means?
Like you're out of line. I don't know. Is that dumb of me to say?
No, okay, I would say let's Google this because out of pocket, if you ask somebody that's like somebody out of line, out of pocket to me, which and it depends on who you ask, was I'm unavailable.
No. Now this is does slang out of pocket means out from under someone's control, not manageable.
Out of pocket is a phrase with 3 different common meanings. It can refer to a person having to pay money themselves, a person being unreachable, or a person acting unnaturally wild or inappropriate.
No, I was thinking out of pocket, like out of line or
out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on the generation that you ask. Because when I would say out of pocket and then I had a young person look at me and I'm like, that I'm unavailable. Like
did I offend?
I can't be reached. Like my phone is not in my pocket.
Yeah. The corporate jargon Gen Z is bringing to the chat and it says 2023. So this is this article and these all drive me nuts. So vibe. I think anybody that uses vibe, like I use that when I say, for lack of a better word, vibe. because I can't think
Yeah.
of a better word at the moment. And I've
Right.
only used that a couple times, but no cap, bet,
Mhm.
lit, basic, sus, bro, slay, cancel, fire. Now, the only one I'm really a fan of is slay.
I can't even imagine like using those in a like a professional conversation.
I couldn't imagine that as well. Like,
I think that's just slang as opposed to a buzzword. Well, I guess you have casual buzzwords versus corporate buzzwords.
this is corporate, the corporate jargon Gen Z is bringing to the chat.
E-
Here's the thing, I think that's a misinterpretation of Gen Z, though. Like,
Fair.
I don't think that like Gen
So
Z people
can
are going into a business meeting like, no cap, bro. Like, I
are
just
you
don't.
about are you about tired of hearing the word woke used
Um,
in wrong context?
I hear it a lot, and it's just one of those things that people use as a joke, but there are some people that use it seriously, and you can't tell the difference between the two if it's a
Well,
joke or if it's
like a
serious.
politician describing the woke agenda.
Oh,
And I'm like, what? Okay, so at its core, it just means that you have a problem with people standing up for like racial and social justice issues.
here's
They're
the thing, what I think of, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but the woke agenda or whatever that is, the woke culture, cancel culture, whatever it is. I think with woke or cancel culture, people are just not standing for what the older generation stand or stood by at a young age.
yeah.
So like when you look at things like what's the documentary Quiet on Set,
Hmm.
and how it's, calling out Hollywood for kids or whatever you want to call it. And it's not a new thing. Like that wasn't the first like it sucks that Nickelodeon did that because that was a big part of my childhood
Right.
was like Nickelodeon and Disney. But it's like when you think about it, children that were in that industry throughout time before that dealt with the same things. And it was
Hmm.
just never brought to light like it is now because we have the
Yeah.
technology to communicate so fast now.
Right. Well,
Um,
exactly. And I mean, if you think about it, like there's social issues, right?
right.
So I don't know to what level where woke starts becoming negative. I don't know to what level woke becomes a negative thing.
Mhm.
Um, Meaning, are you like heavily policing like what's politically correct? Like, is that where they're coming from? Because I get the whole thing of, yeah, like we're bringing these things to light because now we have a platform to do so. And now people don't like it because if it makes them uncomfy, which is hilarious if you think about it, the people who bitch about the other people being woke are actually more sensitive.
Right. Well, that also brings me back to like I think trauma is a huge buzzword right now.
Yeah,
And everybody dealing with different types of trauma. Like, I think everybody has some sort of traumatic
right.
experience in their life. I don't doubt that. But saying, like, oh, I dealt with the trauma of going to the grocery store and they didn't have bananas, like, I feel like there's some people that'll use it in that context. And that sounds so, because I just say some people, it sounds so general, but I know I've heard it where I mean, that's something that's huge that's right now, especially with focusing on mental health and prioritizing that going, well, you need to heal your childhood and you need to heal that childhood trauma. And I think it's great that we've discovered that you can go back and heal those things. However, there's some things that
It
people
just
call trauma
opens the
that it's just
door.
like, it is
Yeah.
a minor inconvenience, not
Yeah.
trauma.
Right, but then you're a dick for pointing it out.
Right, right.
But another one that I'm getting sick of that's you mentioned it in the list is when can we stop talking about COVID? When can we stop blaming things on COVID? Why do we keep calling things, well, this is just the new normal. This is
Yeah.
just the,
And that's one of those, but that's a 40, let's
just
say, most
it's
annoying
just it's just normal. Like
buzzword is.
anything that happens, and because there's a lot of not normal shit, or there's a lot of normal things going on that are affecting the economy outside of that pandemic, like,
Right.
we're still involved in a war that we don't need to be involved in.
Here's the thing, if like I could understand calling it the new norm if you were like an amputee, right? Like you used to brush your teeth with your right hand, but you lost that and now you have your left. That's your new norm. Like that's what I
Right.
when I think about that.
Sure.
A lot of things went back to pretty well normal after COVID was.
Well, and I guess if you think of it in the context of the corporate world, there were a lot of businesses that shifted their business model when, you couldn't work. Then they found out, oh, my business can't actually operate without an office space that costs me $15,000 a month.
Right.
So that's actually a positive thing. And were there things that have been forever changed? Yeah. But is it the entire reality of how
Listen,
everyone's
my
living?
new normal, if I'm being completely honest, my new normal from COVID was living life without the bacon, egg, cheese bagel from McDonald's when they took that away during COVID and they brought it back.
They did just bring it back.
So, is my new normal my old normal? When does my old normal
When
does
does it?
the normal
Oh,
normal become the new normal and the new normal becomes the old normal?
so now with the new normal, we've now gone full circle. That's another buzzword, and we've closed the loop on McDonald's bacon, egg, and cheese bagels
Right.
because they are back.
The normal became the new normal and the new normal became the old normal. And the more I say
Right.
normal, it sounds like a funny word.
It does. It does. But yeah, those are the cringy buzzwords is one of those. That's been a buzzword since like the early 2000s, and it was cringy then. It's cringy now. They have circle on here. What the hell does that mean?
Like circle back.
No, but they have circle and circle back. But I guess it just means circle back. Let's take a deep dive. So, yeah. So some of these cringy ones have been cringy ones. So when we if you put in the most annoying business buzzwords, in 2021, new normal was number 1. So,
You know
although
what
it
I
is
can't stand?
what?
When influencers who think they are important
Yeah.
when they're flying will go wheels up. That drives me absolutely bonkers. I can't tell you how many times I see that. It's like wheels up and it's a picture outside the airplane window. It's like, are you flying the plane?
Um
It drives me nuts. I don't know why. It's like it's just not when I don't look at that post and go, wow, you're a cool person. I just go, ew.
yeah. Or you feel like you need to mock them.
Yeah. Right. That sounds so bad and so judgy, but it's like, ugh, it's just tasteless. Mm.
5 social media buzzwords that have lost their way. Engagement. Well, we literally still talk about engagement from a technical standpoint, but I saw a post from somebody who was saying things like, we need to stop saying these things right now. Wheels up was one of them. And then I'm like, can we add if you know, you know, but putting it just in the acronym?
IYKYK.
Yeah, I'm over that.
I had to
Please don't
think about that.
please don't do that anymore. It was
Yeah.
wheels up. The if I added that to the list. I'm trying to remember, but it was like, if we could stop saying these things, please and thank you. That would be great.
So one that I think is funny that I think is just now hitting the older generation is like algorithm when it comes to social media, where they're like, they don't get what an algorithm is. And here's the thing. I think there is an algorithm to an extent. However, I think it's funny when like people that work in social media go, "Oh, that's just what the algorithm does." Not looking back at their content going, "This could be better." You know? But also
Algorithm. It's the algorithm.
another thing that's frustrating is going, you're seeing people go, if you're not getting a result, that's the result. Your content needs to be better. However, there are you could do something to your channel that does not allow you to get seen or just not be seen at the right time. I don't know. It's confusing. I think it's funny though when the older generation is like, I don't know if that's my algorithm or what. It's like, oh, only you knew.
I had somebody I had a call the other day, speaking of algorithm being misused. I had somebody, they were doing a call with a marketing company. And it's not really a marketing company. It's like just some dude who's like fairly well known for running Facebook ads. So I was surprised because I know who this person is, where they were telling me that they weren't getting good results. And I was like, I'm like, that's odd. I go, because he's fairly recommended. I said, in the past, like years ago, I've actually paid that person and he did fine. So we got results. And so I was trying to like help them figure out like, well, maybe it's based on where, like where you're located. There's obviously, like a lot of ad performance has to do with what's going on in the market and the population, what you're targeting, and a few different things. He goes, yeah, he just said it's the algorithm. And I'm like, that is the laziest way to say that your Facebook ads aren't performing is by saying, oh, it's the algorithm. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, there have been some changes to the platform, but you can't, like, if you're going 30 days or more with your ads performing poorly and they were performing well, I would have stopped spending that client's money and made changes to it faster.
Right.
So, but anyway, but that was another funny one where he's like, "Oh, it's just the algorithm." I'm like, "What?" I mean, okay, it's not the same, right?
Right.
Like algorithm has to do a little bit more with organic. There is an algorithm to the paid. I get that, but I'm like, I wouldn't have blamed it immediately on that. So that was one thing that I found funny. But man, I wish I would have found that. I wish I could have found that post where she's like, "We need to stop saying these things right now," because it was like, "Please and thank you."
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm guilty of using some of these buzzwords. However, I just we were just talking about this too. I hate how everything's a hack, or like let's try and hack this to come up with
Right.
the faster and efficient way to do different things, and just doesn't work like that. We saw some things like quiet quitting.
Quiet quitting was pretty common, but what was the one we looked at earlier? Was it what's quiet
There's
hiring?
quiet hiring and quiet firing, which I didn't know was a thing. So quiet firing is a response to quiet quitting. Quiet firing emerged to
Right.
describe organizations and managers that fail to recognize their employees.
Right. So quiet firing is quiet firing has been a thing. So when you typically see like a leader or a manager over a particular person where they just intentionally stop engaging with somebody that needs help and they don't answer questions and they just avoid having communication with them, like, oh my God, you used to see that in the past all the time. Like they do that so they don't have to fire somebody. Because if someone, and a lot of times their mindset is, well, if they quit, then I don't have to pay unemployment. So that's a way to quiet fire. You just start basically ignoring their existence within your company.
Yeah.
And that's super common. Like it's super common in smaller privately owned businesses because there's not so many levels. And if somebody sees that directly from the ownership, then they quit. And when you're the owner of a company and you have a bunch of employees, you can use that as an excuse of, well, I've got so many things to pay attention to and so many things to do. I can't give you special attention. Where in reality, it's not about special attention. It's you're not giving them the basics of what they need. And if they bring a problem to you and you ignore it, they're going to quit. So that's quiet firing. Like you're doing it intentionally, but you're really not doing anything. You're just avoiding or ignoring.
Right.
What's quiet hiring?
I can't find it. There's one on here that I saw that is the Great Resignation.
That's already happened.
A global phenomenon that depicts the record number of people that have left their job since the beginning of whatever. I'm not going to click into that to read the rest of that. The Great Resignation. I feel like we've witnessed that before in our lifetime.
This one's weird. Okay, quiet hiring is when a company either works with contract workers like freelancers or asks current employees to do things outside of their job roles.
Yeah.
That's okay. I guess quiet hiring is like, we're not really hiring. We're just going to ask you to do more work.
Right.
Bizarre. What is silent recruitment? Silent hiring or stealth hiring? Quiet hiring. Workplace trend that entails more covert and a private approach to hiring and staffing.
Let's use, and this is a buzzword, AI is a buzzword right now. I was going to say, let's use the power of AI right now. See, I need a list of buzzwords trending in 2024. Metaverse, Web3, NFTs.
Oh, God.
This is all going into crypto, it looks like.
Is crypto and NFTs, do they really still exist?
Yes. Cybersecurity, the biotech revolution, remote health, which I can get behind remote health.
Like what? Remote health care?
Yeah.
Yeah,
why not? Going to the doctor.
Well, yeah, because you're going to pay double to go to the doctor for somebody to not listen to what you're telling them anyway.
This is true.
Especially if you're a woman. They don't take you seriously, period.
I don't really know what to say about buzzwords. I just know that they're cringy.
This is the last time that I want to mention COVID, but the one crazy thing about that whole scenario and all the buzzwords that it created is it was 4 years ago. Like,
I know.
4 years ago. Can we please, for the love of God, stop talking about it? Please, just stop. I'm over it. We're all over it. We don't want to talk about it anymore.
Listen, you've only earned the right to talk about COVID if it altered your
Existence, like complete
yes.
existence. Like if you were seriously, seriously sick, you know,
Had
did it,
family members that were
you had
sick,
somebody
had
that you
to
knew, somebody that
experience the
died.
grief and loss.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like that's the only time it's appropriate to continue to talk about COVID in a sense of excuses. Like it's a part of history
Yeah.
now, but it's
I mean,
like,
honestly, it was like for most people, unless you got seriously sick or you had a family member that died, it was an inconvenience. But can you imagine the level of people who will describe when they had to stay home as trauma?
oh my God. This is
It's all
not
tied together.
this
No.
is not to get political, but I feel like I need to share this story because it was the most bizarre thing. And this is, I'm not picking a side. I'm not stating any opinions like that. The funniest and most bizarre Easter I've ever had. So we wake up.
Mhm.
This is stemming from the COVID conversation. We
Right.
wake up, we start getting ready for the day. Cole takes crew to his mother's house. Cole comes back and he's like, "There's this white husky that will not leave our porch." I was like, weird. So I went out there. Super friendly dog, super sweet, super obedient. And I put a leash on the dog because I'm like, I'm gonna go walk around the neighborhood, see if I can find anybody that's like calling for this dog. So I walked around like a solid 45 minutes, just back and forth, seeing if I could hear anybody. And this guy comes running out of his truck and he's all excited. And I was like, "Oh, you must be the owner." And he's like, "No, I thought you were." And I was like, "No, I just put a leash on the dog so I could, keep him close by. I didn't want him getting hit by a car or anything. Like I was just trying to find the owner." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been taking care of this dog the past couple days and then it got out and took off running and I just thought I wasn't going to chase it because it's not my dog." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." And having the conversation and he's like, "Well, I can take him back for a couple days if I need you to find him a home." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't have the room. I've got two dogs." And he's talking to me about how, yeah, COVID happened and all these liberals got dogs and pets, and then COVID was over and they realized pets are a lot of work. So they just start letting them loose. And I was like, you know what? I don't think this is the case. I didn't say anything. I was just like, oh, okay, here's the dog. I'm going to go back inside now. It was just like, I don't think that this dog running away is stemming from COVID. Like when you think about it, you just blamed COVID and liberals
Oh man.
on a dog running away.
We didn't have so many homeless dogs until there was Joe Biden.
Listen, we're not vouching for Joe Biden
We're not.
either.
We're not. No,
It's
no, no.
just hilarious what some people like to,
So,
but they'll just put the blame. It's buzzwords. It all goes back to
right.
buzzwords too.
Hmm. I just found buzzword bingo online. That'd be really fun if we actually had corporate jobs, but we don't because they suck.
This is true. But yeah.
That'd be really
Anyway,
funny.
that's buzzwords for us. This is
Yeah.
officially the start of season 2. So
Yeah.
we'll have more. We'll still be posting every Friday. We'll have more content coming out every Friday and some new guests and
Oh,
new opinions, new topics, new outlook on the podcast. So, Katie, do you have anything else to add?
no, just got a lot of really fun topics coming up. So off to a fire start.
I knew you were going to put in some sort of buzzword in that outro. I was mentally preparing myself for that.
Mhm. And it was super cringy.
A little bit. Not gonna lie, it was a little cringy. So, anyway, check in for new episodes every Friday and we'll talk to you then. Okay, bye.
Adios.